Uh, I call these unique approaches as the mantras for career success. Why do I call it a mantra? Because the more you are able to follow these guidelines, the more successful you are going to become in your career. Whether you are starting your career or whether you are planning to change your career or you are in the midst of a career dilemma, it doesn't matter. This mantras, which I'm going to share with you, and also the scientific approach guidelines, which I'll be sharing with you, are going to be extremely useful and beneficial from the point of planning your career and making it more successful. Having said this, I'm trying to introduce these mantras to you through some very unique video clippings from real life situation. And I would prefer each one of you viewing these videos. Each video will run for about a minute or less than a minute. And quickly mention in the chat box in just one line, what is the message you are getting from this video? Okay, let's look at the first video. Okay, that completes the video. And I just want quickly, Nandhini, Are there any messages in the chat box from people who have observed this video?
Yes, there are a lot.
Okay, can you read a few, please?
Yes, a few people says like, the kid is searching for the mom. And a few people said like, the kid is scared and wants a company. So the kid is expecting a care. And some speaks about the insecure feeling. And okay, so some says like, the child wants the warmth and secure feeling. Yeah. Maybe the child was alone. Okay, a father cannot take the place of a mother. Okay, there's a varied
Okay, wonderful.
comments that
Okay,
has come
let
up.
me throw a question to the audience. The question is, if if you can imagine that you are the child and the father is none other than your manager in the corporate world, I want you to think from that angle that you are the child. That means you are a new entrant to the corporate world as a trainee, employee, and the father is nothing but your manager. Okay, now I'm sure you are going to get a different type of message altogether when you are visualizing from that angle. And the message or the first mantra which I would like to share from that angle is take a look at what is appearing on the screen. You need to find new ways of self managing, self motivating, and adapting yourself to the changing and demanding situations around you. The most important mantra for people to be successful in their career. One needs to know how to self manage. That means reduce your dependency on the other people. You must know how to self motivate yourself because there is more and more challenge which is coming in the corporate world. And last but not the least, you must be quickly able to adapt yourself to the changing and demanding situation around you. This is the mantra number one, which I want all of you to remember and to also follow, whether you are a student or a working professional, in order to be successful in your career. So I'm going to share with you a second video clipping, interesting one. Quickly take a look at it and tell me from this video, how do you relate this video and the message to the real life situation, especially the real life corporate situation. Okay. What exactly is the message you are getting it from this video clipping? You have seen the person was trying to put out the alarm and then trying to sleep further. Then he had an unexpected disaster. So what exactly is the message you're getting? So can we have a couple of them, Nandhini?
Yes, sir. We should adapt to the situation, self-adaptation. So that's one. The problem
Yeah.
could be greater than it appears.
Okay. Anything else?
And do your work on time. So don't procrastinate. I think that's what he's saying or she have. So could you please let me know what is that Sonjot? Please correct that. And next is do your work on time. If we are not do the okay. Okay, okay, fine. If you don't do the work, then the company will, uh, probably they're saying like, might throw us out, something like that. So do not procrastinate. Okay, that's fine. That's what
Okay,
they are saying.
wonderful. So let me share this message with you. You have seen this person trying to put off the alarm and trying to sleep, get a further sleep, and he was in for an unexpected disaster. The most important message, which I want you to make a note as career mantra two, is change your old and negative habits. Many of us have negative habits, one of which could be sleeping or getting up late in the morning. missing out on some of our priorities and some of our important requirements for the day. I had a very unique case of a student from India who passed his BE Mechanical with flying colors. In fact, he went on to do his MS in USA, and he passed out with flying colors and joined a very reputed company in America. It was his first job, and this company had a very interesting activity of sponsoring baseball games, for which they used to invite all the new recruits to be the volunteers. And our friend from India who passed his BE Mechanical and went abroad for his master's in America and then joined this company, he had a very negative habit. One of his negative habits was he could get up in the morning in the early hours. Even when he was studying in the college, he had to travel almost 2 hours by bus to reach the college. And this bus used to pick him up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. Most of the days he missed the bus because of this negative habit he had, that was not being able to get up early in the morning. So he continued with that negative habit. He went to America. He passed out his MS with flying colors. He got a job in a very reputed company. And in that company, they were sponsoring a baseball tournament for which he was invited to be a volunteer. One of the requirements of the volunteers is that they should report in the stadium, in the sports stadium, at morning 5 o'clock. The reason being the baseball tournament starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. So the students, the new recruits in that company are going to play the role of volunteers. They will have to report at 5 o'clock. So our friend from India had a great difficulty in getting up in the morning. Somehow he managed on the first day, but on the second day, he had a difficulty. So he told his friend, who was again from India, his classmate working in the same company, that he may not be able to make it in the morning. So he said, I'm going to sleep and come only by 9 o'clock. So can you do a proxy punch for me using my ID card so that I don't get questioned by my boss for coming late? So he slept off. He went to the stadium around 9:30. And as he was entering the stadium, his manager spotted him. So he asked him a simple question: why are you so late? You are supposed to be reporting at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, no, I had already come at 5 o'clock. He gave this answer presuming that his friend would have used his ID card for punching his attendance. It so happened that the manager had a suspicion, and he went into the details and found that this guy had not come in at 5 o'clock, but somebody else has punched using his card. So what really happened to this particular student from India? You will be shocked. The next day he was called by his manager and he was fired from the job for behaving or intentionally trying to cheat. Okay. So any unethical act in America is viewed very, very seriously, especially in the corporate world. So our friend from India, the mechanical engineer, lost his job basically because he was trying to be unethical. And he could not get over a negative old habit, that was sleeping very late in the morning hours. So I want you to remember every small negative habit you have. It could be one of the examples which I gave, or it could be any other negative habit. Please make sure that you are consciously focusing on getting over your negative habits. If you don't do that right now, you are going to find it very difficult to get over it when you are in the corporate situation. And that's going to cause a lot of damage to your career. So I'm going to share with you the third mantra through a video. Take a look at this one. Just look at what the little dog is doing in front of the big dog.
私は寝てるよ。寝てますよ。と。やったー。 見事な演技でジャーキー取りに成功。再びジャコがジャーキーに近づいた。そしてあら、シロ今度は起きてるの？私は寝てるよ。ゴロッとグーグー。ほら寝てるからね。グーグー。やった、またいただき。
Okay, I want you to imagine for a moment. This clipping was taken from a real life situation. What is the message you are getting by viewing the small dog, the smartness of the small dog in front of the bigger one? That's the basic question which I have. So can I have some quick couple of feedbacks, Nandhini?
Sure, sir. As I get, I can read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have
So,
any,
yeah. So you can keep commenting. Okay. So we have some comments now. Smart work than hard work is one of the comments.
wonderful.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay. So if you are very careful, then you will not lose your
Excellent.
smartness
Excellent.
of the small dog. So that's what if you are careful, you will not lose your opportunity is one. Smartness of the small dog is one. And boss playing out there. Okay. Very smart and think before work. Okay. Smart work. A little one outsmarts the big one. Okay. What else? Okay. If you don't do something, there will always be someone who will replace you and do it better.
Wonderful.
Nice. Okay.
I think the people who have given the feedback, most of them have got the clue. So let me share this mantra, a very important mantra for being successful in your career. Ensure strategy and innovation in whatever you do. I repeat, ensure strategy and innovation in whatever you do. Don't fear your competition. This is a very important mantra number 3, which is going to take you places in your career. The more you are strategic, the more you are innovative, the more you are doing things differently from other people, you are going to achieve greater success. I want you to make a note of this mantra number 3 for your career success. Be different, have your own individuality, have an innovation, have an experimenting approach, do things differently from other people. That's the key. Okay. So let's look at the mantra number 4.
Come on! Come on! I love you!
Okay, I'm sure all of you could see what really happened in this video. This person was trying to use the computer. He had some problem. So he was getting irritated. He was reacting to the computer, which is the hardware. And then he was trying to bang at it. And then you could see what really happened in return. So we have similar experiences in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes we get annoyed with certain things which are not happening the way we are expecting. And then we respond in a similar manner. So what is the exact message you are getting from this video? Some quick feedbacks, please.
Yeah. Oh, there are a lot of feedbacks that are popping up. Okay, that's really nice. Have to maintain patience and have to control over anger. Patience is necessary in the world. Treat how you want to be treated. Patience is more important. Anger can't be the solution. Being patient,
Wonderful.
being patient will have will be good for work, and something which is related to patience is coming up.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So I think most of you are getting the message correctly. For every action, there is an equivalent opposite reaction. I'm sure all of you remember this principle. Now, the important message or mantra from this particular video film, which I want all of you to remember and practice carefully, is you must know your potential paradox. You must know what is your positive behavior. You must know what are your negative behaviors. You should also know what are the behavioral tendencies which you have, which enable you to produce effective results. We call them the enabling traits. And you should also know what are the behavioral tendencies or traits which creates a problem for you. And we call them the derailing traits. So anger is one of them. Not being able to manage stress is another one which you can think of. But the important message or the mantra which I want you to remember is always try to understand what are your strengths and what are your challenges. You must know your enabling behavioral tendencies, and you should also know your delayering behavioral tendencies. You must focus more on your enabling traits and further strengthen them. You should also focus on your derailing traits, that is your weakness, and find out ways and means of overcoming them, however small they are. Because there is every chance that even a small derailing trait or a weakness can affect you in your career. So keep this in mind as mantra number 4. Uh, the mantra number 5 is something which I want you to focus very carefully. You should know what are your strongest behavioral tendencies in order to be successful in your career. We call them life themes, and these life themes are nothing but your strongest behaviors, and they are your strengths. The more you are focused on your life themes, the more you are going to use them. Depending on the type of career you are choosing, I'm sure you are going to be more and more successful. So the mantra number 5 is understand what are your strengths, which is nothing but your life themes. Sometimes we call them your DNA traits because they are the strongest behavioral tendencies in you. Start using your strongest behaviors, and you can be rest assured about the type of success you're going to achieve in your career. Let's look at mantra number 6. This is a very important mantra for your career success. You must understand and analyze your preferences, your likes, and your tendencies. All of us have certain comfort zones. We have certain discomfort zones. We like doing certain things. We don't like doing certain things. We enjoy doing certain activities, but we don't enjoy certain other types of activities. So, what exactly is this mantra? The most important requirement for scientifically planning your career, as found out based on a very interesting research done by one of the most reputed organizations called Harrison Assessments. I'm a solutions partner in Harrison. And one of the interesting things which came out in the research findings of Harrison is there are about 7 factors you need to be careful about. You need to be analyzing. You need to be evaluating in order to be successful in your career. And what are these 7 factors? The first one is you should know what are your specific areas of interest before choosing your career. Because the more you are able to align your interest with that of your career, you are going to be more and more successful. The second very important requirement is to evaluate what type of task which you like to do, what type of task which you don't like to do. This plays a very crucial role in choosing your career, because your career involves doing a lot of tasks. If you choose a career wherein most of the tasks are tasks which you are going to enjoy doing, which you prefer doing, you are going to be extremely happy, satisfied, and productive in your career. The third very important requirement is environmental preference. All of us have certain environmental preferences when it comes to our career. Some people like to work indoor, some people like to work outdoor. Some people like to travel, some people don't like traveling job. Okay, so you need to be very careful in order to understand, first of all, scientifically understand what are your environmental preferences. Environmental preferences are otherwise also called as your work atmosphere preferences. So once you know exactly what are your environmental preferences, it becomes very easy for you to select a career which fits into your environmental preferences. I'll have to give you a simple example. Means if somebody likes a traveling job and he finds a job or a career where he is required to sit inside four walls for 12 hours a day, I'm sure he is not going to be productive. But if the same person who likes traveling finds a job in sales by which he gets the opportunity of traveling to different locations and meeting different types of customers, he's going to be much more satisfied and productive in his career. So environmental preference plays a very important role, whether you prefer what type of environment and accordingly choosing your career. The fourth very important requirement is one needs to understand what motivates them to do certain things and what demotivates them from doing certain things. One needs to know their engagement factors, what engages them and what doesn't engage them. The moment you know your motivation factors and your engagement factors, you can align them to find a career which fits into that. That's going to make you more productive and successful in your career. The next very important requirement to be evaluated is you must know your interpersonal skills. How effective is your interpersonal skills? You must know your style of interactions with people. How do you normally interact with people? What are your interpersonal skill strengths? And also you should understand what are your challenges in your interpersonal skills and accordingly start working on improving them. Your leadership style is another factor which you need to evaluate. How is your current leadership style? What are the strengths? What are the challenges? And accordingly, start working on your challenges and try to improve them, because not everyone likes to be in a leadership role. But in your career, when you are getting into a leadership role, you need to be having the sufficient strengths, sufficient tendencies and skills to handle your leadership role effectively. So evaluate your leadership style as it stands now. Start focusing on the areas for improvement, and that's going to really help you in your career. The last but not the least is career involves making a lot of decisions. Even before you get into a career, you will have to make a decision of which career to be choosing. And secondly, when you're in a career, when you're in a job, you need to make a lot of decisions depending on the type of role you're going to be handling. Your decision-making style is another area which needs to be evaluated, which needs to be really understood, so that you know what are your strengths and what are your challenges in your decision-making style. And accordingly, you can start working on your areas of challenges for improving. So in all, there are 7 factors which are listed here. I want you to make a note of all these 7 factors. If you are able to scientifically evaluate these 7 factors and then accordingly choose a career aligned to your own strengths and your own preferences, you are going to be much more successful in your career. Okay. And another thing, which is I call a very, very important mantra, is mantra number 7. It is not what you can do, but it is what you want to do or what you will do that determines the level of your career success. Please keep this in mind. The two key words here are can do, which we call the eligibility, will do, which we call the suitability. Please keep these two words in mind. Can do, will do, or want to do. Can do is nothing but your eligibility. That means your qualification, your length of experience, your certifications, your knowledge level, your skill level. All these will fall under eligibility. They are important for career success. I'm not saying no. But more important is your suitability factors for being successful in a career. So what is suitability? Suitability is all about your behavior. It is all about how you prefer doing things, how you like doing things, what things you like doing, what are your interests, what are your specific styles of interpersonal decision making and leadership. All these aspects will fall into the suitability factors. So if you focus only on your academics, if you focus only on your qualification, building your skills, building your knowledge, that's not going to be sufficient for a successful career. A successful career comes when you marry eligibility with suitability. I repeat, a successful career comes when you are able to marry your eligibility with your suitability. Let me share with you what is eligibility and suitability through this slide. I want all of you to focus on the pie chart which is given here. On the left side of this circle, you see all the factors which are suitability factors. And on the right side of this circle, you see all the factors which are eligibility factors. And mind you, career success comes only when you are able to blend suitability with eligibility. A mere focus on eligibility factors alone, that means your qualification, your level of schooling and graduation, your knowledge of the job, the industry, or the product, your work experience or length of experience, your work skills, and the type of certifications which you acquire. These are all eligibility factors. They are important for your career success. I'm not saying no, but the factors, if you focus only on the factors which are listed on the right side, and you don't focus on the factors which are listed on the left side of this particular chart, you are going to be missing out a great deal of success in your career. That's why from a Harrison research perspective, it is always said that career success is a result of blending eligibility and suitability. It is how you align eligibility and suitability in order to select the right type of careers. So keep this important input on eligibility versus suitability in your mind. And you need to accurately measure all these factors which are listed here. You can not only assess your eligibility factors, but you can also assess your suitability factors through a scientific analysis method. The scientific analysis method is nothing but an assessment test which you take through an online methodology. Harrison is one of the pioneers in career assessment. They provide career assessments for students as well as working professionals. And this particular assessment can be completed in less than 30 minutes by using an online link. The moment you complete your assessment, you can get to know your scores on all these suitability factors, which will help you to select the right type of career. Given your qualification and experience, given your certification and knowledge of a particular product or an industry, that alone is not sufficient. You need to scientifically evaluate through an assessment test all the suitability factors which are listed here in order to get a self-clarity and awareness, in order to find the right career fit, and in order to prepare yourself for a successful career, and in order to focus on your career development requirements. And ultimately, this approach of evaluating the suitability factors is going to help you to not only be successful in your career, it's going to be helping you to have an enjoyable career, a career which you are going to be really satisfied and happy about. Always choose your career by choice and not by. Today, people have multiple choices available in the uh, corporate world. The past years, way back in the 70s and late 70s and 80s, the number of career choices available were very, very less. Today, people get variety of choices from which they can select which career is most suitable for them. So one of the mantras which I recommend is choosing your career by choice and not by chance. How do you do it by choice? You need to definitely evaluate all these factors. The more you are able to evaluate all these factors, then you are able to choose a career by your own choice, by your own preferences, by your own likes and your own comfort zones. That is going to make you very successful compared to a normal person who just gets into the career without doing a scientific analysis. The mantra number 9, never look for a job. What I mean by that is never look for a 9 to 5 job. Always look for a passion job. So if you make your passion as your career, if you make your passion as your job career, then you don't have to work for a single day. What does it mean? In fact, you're going to enjoy your career so much that you don't feel like you are working even on a single day. Because every second of what you're doing in your career, you are going to enjoy it so much because you have chosen your passion as your career. Let me give you a wonderful example. There are 3 people cutting stones, and a person was passing by that side, and he was very curiously looking at the 3 people cutting stones. Each one was doing it differently. Okay. So he wanted to go and find out why is it that when all of them are doing the same job, all the 3 are doing the same job, why is it that there is a difference in the way they are doing it? So he went to the first person who was cutting stones and asked him, what are you doing? This particular person got really annoyed because it was a hot sunny day and this guy was cutting stones in the open field. So he reacted by telling this person, don't you see? I'm cutting stones. So he was not happy with the answer. He went to the second person and asked him, what are you doing? So the second person gave a different answer. He said, I am actually cutting these stones 12 hours a day and I get paid for this and I use that money to feed my family. He was still not convinced about the answer. He went to the third person and asked him, what is that you are doing? So the third person who was cutting stones gave a completely different answer. He said, I am preparing these stones for building a beautiful temple. Now, my question to the audience is, which of these 3 people you think are going to be more productive in their job and in their career? Can we have some quick answers? Which of these 3 stone cutters do you think is going to be more productive and more happy in their job? And you have to give me at least one reason. Nandhini, can we have the feedback, please?
All right. The third one says the mass.
Most of
Okay.
them?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
Those
they
who
give me
follow
the
their
reason?
okay. Those who
Anyone with a reason?
those who follow their passion And because he works with soul, so that's what they said.
Okay.
3, because it's what he want to do. Okay, fine, Abhiram.
Okay.
All right, can we have some more answers? The justification of why you are choosing the third one. That's what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else interesting?
Yeah, I'm looking for some, and I'm waiting for it. All right, so audience, you can be more interactive. So I feel like there can be a lot of answers. Every individual will
Okay.
have their own different version of it. So you can go ahead.
Give me one more before I share with them what exactly is the reason. Your answer that the third person is going to be more productive is right. But the reason is something which I wanted actually from the participants.
Right.
The reason is the third person not only was enjoying what he was doing, but he knew the purpose behind what he was doing. I want you to make a note of this. The third stone cutter was not only enjoying what he was doing, but he knew the purpose behind what he was doing. Okay, that's why he gave an answer which was completely unique and different. He said, I am preparing the stones for building a beautiful temple. Obviously, this guy is going to be more productive. He's going to be enjoying his career much more than the other two people. And not only that, the type of effectiveness and productivity or the quality which is going to be turning out is going to be much, much higher compared to the other people. The first stone cutter was working as a stone cutter just because he did not get any other better job. The second person was working as a stone cutter for the sake of money. But the third person was working as a stone cutter because he enjoyed it. Because he was fascinated about preparing the stones for building a beautiful temple. And obviously, he is going to be more enjoying his career and more productive. Keep this in mind. Always choose a career which is based on your passion. This is mantra number 9. Now, I'm going to quickly share with you the Harrison assessments method of assessing and finding out exactly how do you scientifically analyze the type of career which is more suitable for you. As I told you, passion directly leads to high levels of engagement. It leads to high quality. It leads to high level of inner motivation. And it also leads to high level of performance and results. So always keep this in mind. When you choose your career for the first time, or even if you are a working professional and you are trying to change your career because of some reason of dissatisfaction or frustration or not being successful in your present career, while making the change, please always try to focus on how can I select a career which is aligned to my passion. I'll give you 2-3 examples which makes things clear for you. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the famous Carnatic singer Unni Krishnan. He's a good friend of mine, and he was a very good cricketer, very good sports person, and he was also very good in his academics. So he was also doing Carnatic singing as a pastime activity. So when a time came to choose his career, he had to really choose whether he wants to become a cricketer or he wants to pursue his career as per his academic program, become an engineer or a management executive. He had to really make a choice, or whether he has to become a Carnatic singer. He took a final decision based on his passion, which was Carnatic music, or you can call it as music. He decided to become a singer, notwithstanding his academics, notwithstanding his passion for the game of cricket. And today, you know his success level. His success level is outstanding. He is one of the popular singers across the globe, not only in Carnatic, but also in the cine music. And he has reached great heights of becoming very successful in his career as a Carnatic singer. Another standing example is one of the wonderful singers from South India, whom we lost recently, S.P. Balasubramaniam. He was a dropout from the engineering college. he actually was singing in one of the actual college competitions, annual cultural event, and he was spotted by the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.G. Ramachandran. And he invited him to sing for himself in one of the movies, and that turned his entire life, where he made singing in cinemas as his career, which was his passion area, of course. So keep these examples in mind. There are a number of examples you can go on giving. There is a very interesting case which I have come across in my own experience of career counseling. One of the students who passed his psychology exams with gold medal could not get a job for 2 years. He did his applied psychology, could not get a job for 2 years, was frustrated. When I did the Harrison assessments, career assessments on this person to evaluate and find out what are his preferences and choices, I could see that this person had interestingly the following scores. Worthwhile looking at these scores or maybe making a note of these scores from your side. The person had a score for sports as an area of interest, 10 out of 10. The person had a score for psychology as an area of interest, again, 9.5 out of 10. The person had a high score on outdoor activities, a score of around 9 out of 10. And this person had a score of meeting new people, that is outgoing, as one of the important preferences, on a score of 9 out of 10. And this person also had a score of 9.5 out of 10 on travel. So if you put all these things together, I felt after the assessment, this person should look at sports psychology as one of the key areas of interest for the career. So I asked this student whether the student will be comfortable going for higher studies in sports psychology. The student readily agreed. His parents also agreed. And the student went to Australia for doing a master's program on sports psychology. And interestingly, very, very successful career this student is having now. The student has passed out his sports psychology program in one of the top universities in Australia, and the student is working with one of the athletics teams in Olympics as a sports psychologist. So what is the advantage? The student is able to travel. The student is able to play games along with the sports team members. The student is able to meet new people and new challenges every day. The student is able to use the basic academic knowledge on psychology and sports psychology for coaching and training the team members in the athletics team. And not last but the least, I would say this particular student is also able to get an alignment of all the preferential factors like travel, psychology, sports, outdoor, meeting new people and new challenges, etc. Is able to align all these factors in the new career which the person has chosen as a sports psychologist working for an athletics team which is representing in the Olympics tournament. So that's the benefit you're going to get when you're scientifically able to analyze your preferences, your likes and your comfort zones and your strengths, and accordingly align them along with your passion for choosing the right type of career. Having said this, the entire assessment of Harrison is based on enjoyment performance theory. What is enjoyment performance theory? The research says the more you are going to enjoy something, you have a tendency to repeat it. The more you are repeating something, you will start improving it. And the more you start improving, you start getting noticed and you start getting positive feedbacks from people. And the net result, you continue to enjoy what you are expected to do. The reverse is also true. When you don't enjoy doing something, you stop doing it. You don't repeat it or you procrastinate it. And because of that, you don't improve or you fail to perform. And when you fail to perform or when you don't improve in something, you start getting negative feedbacks from people, and you start getting discouragement, and that leads to lack of self-reinforcement, and the net result is you stop enjoying to do what you are expected to do. I want all of you to remember this enjoyment performance theory, because by research it has been proved that people who enjoy at least 75% of their work, people who can enjoy at least 75% of the career which they are choosing, are going to be 4 times more successful than other people. Please keep these figures in mind. If you choose a career wherein at least you have a 75% enjoyment level, you are going to end up being 4 times more successful than a normal person. So that's a big advantage which you will get if you are going to be aligning your career with that of your passion. Having said this, I want all of you to remember the level of your career success or your job success is entirely dependent on your enjoyment level of the career. So the more you're going to enjoy your career or your job, which you're choosing, the higher is going to be the job success level. Keep this very important thing in mind. It is very highly interconnected, your job success level vis-a-vis your enjoyment level. Having said this, I'm going to end up this session in the next 5 minutes by saying your career choices is one of the most important decisions which you will be making in your life. So do it very carefully. Even if you're already working and you're planning to change your career, you need to be careful in making your change, because the more you are doing it scientifically, the better is going to be the success level. Harrison Career Assessment helps you to do this in less than 30 minutes. You can take an online assessment and complete. The moment you complete the assessment, you can be able to see 3 very interesting reports about yourself. I will show you exactly what are these 3 reports. The report number 1 is a report which is called Your Greatest Strengths, item number 4 on this particular slide. The report number 2 is a report called Career Options Report, item number 5, which I'm showing on the cursor. And there is yet another report which is called the Career Development Report, which is item number 7. And you can also get one more very interesting, deeper analysis report, which is called the Career Enjoyment Analysis Report, item number 6. So with these 3 or 4 reports, you will be able to choose your career in a scientific manner. And not only that, you will be able to ensure that you are able to align your passion with that of your career. That's a big advantage of doing a scientific analysis. And Harrison Assessments, which is one of the reputed talent management companies in the world, which I represent as a solutions partner, is present in almost 45 countries with more than 2.5 million end users and customers. And one of the key focus areas of Harrison Assessments is helping the students to optimize their career success through an online assessment, which takes less than 30 minutes to complete. The moment you are able to complete your online assessment, you are able to pull out these reports, which I showed you on the screen just now. And with these reports, you are able to really plan your career, or you are able to also plan change of your existing career to a new career. And that makes it more successful for you. In fact, from the research perspective, as I shared with you, if you are able to scientifically analyze these factors and you are able to follow certain key aspects of career mantras, you are going to be 4 times more successful than a normal person. So in conclusion, I would like to say one of the key secrets for career success is to look at these specific factors, analyze them scientifically, and evaluate them before you choose your career. Areas like your interest, your task preferences, your environmental preferences, your motivation and engagement factors, your behavioral strengths and challenges, your interpersonal leadership and decision-making style, and last but not the least, your own negative behaviors, which you need to avoid. All these can be found out in less than 30 minutes through an online assessment. You want more details on this particular assessment approach? You want more information on how to go about doing this career assessment? You may kindly feel free to write to me through mail. I'll share my mail ID also so that you get a better input and you're able to have a successful career in the days to come. Okay, having said this, let me share with you the first report which you can use for your career planning scientifically is called a career development report. This report is obviously going to show you what are your enjoyment areas, what are your important interests, what are your suitable environmental factors, what is your interpersonal style, what are your motivation factors, what is your decision-making tendencies, and it is also going to show you your leadership characteristics. This report is called the Career Development Report. This comes out the moment you complete your online scientific career assessment. The second report is a report which is called your greatest strengths. Now, this report actually brings out all your strengths, your strongest behavioral tendencies. It will also show what are these specific areas or tendencies in which you need to improve. So with this report, you can plan to develop yourself. The third report is a report called Career Options Report. Now, this particular report brings out more than 650 careers. And it also shows what is your suitability score for all these careers. So in less than 30 minutes, you can compare yourself with several careers and find out which one of the careers have the highest score. And please remember, from a research perspective, we normally say that you should choose careers where your scores are a minimum 75% and above. Though up to 60% is okay, but 75% and above minimum suitability and enjoyment score. If you're able to choose those careers, you're going to be more successful. Having said this, as I told earlier, for more information, for more inputs on scientifically planning your careers, please feel free to contact me. And I'll be only too happy to help you to understand how do you plan your career scientifically and then enjoy a rewarding career. More importantly, the assessments which are scientifically done online, they are highly reliable. In fact, this is the only tool, Harrison Assessment is the only tool in the world which has a lie detection technology. When I say lie detection technology, it completely prevents people from manipulating the assessment test. So whenever somebody takes the test, if he doesn't score a minimum of 80% on the consistency, then it's going to be difficult for you to pull out the reports. In the sense, the system will automatically block your reports. So you need to have a minimum reliability score of 80%. Only then you can be in a position to generate your own career reports and take a look at it. And it's very powerful, highly reliable and valid because of this unique feature on lie detection technology. Having said this, I conclude this session sharing my contact details. Those who are interested may kindly feel free to send me a mail, and I would be very happy in order to get your feedback through mail to this particular ID, which is given here. There are two IDs which are there. You can write to any one of them. Mark a CC to the other one. I would be happy to receive your feedback on your specific impressions on today's session. Don't choose your career by chance, do it by choice. And also, what are the benefits and takeaways you got from this particular talk session? I will be very happy to receive this feedback from you. And I request each one of you who attended the session to send me this feedback. And if you are keen to understand more about the scientific assessment of career offered by Harrison Assessments, kindly feel free to put your request in your mail. Thank you once again. Thank you for the organizers for having given this wonderful opportunity of addressing people on their career needs. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Nandhini.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a wonderful session, and I hope all our participants are overwhelmed with all the knowledge bombardment actually. So that was
Sure.
really nice to hear from you for with all those information. And thanks to Harrison Assessments, and thanks to you. So to for all other information that you would want, you can touch base with sir, as he said, like you can write to him to his mail ID. And also audience, just to make you know or make you aware, like sir is right now in Austin, Texas, USA, but despite of his pressing commitments, he has been here, and he had been sharing his knowledge for the last 1 hour. So definitely we all have to thank him, and thank you very much, sir, for doing so. So we are very much humbled by your presence, and thankful to you for your presence and time, and also the knowledge information that you have shared. So this is from our side, and there are awesome comments coming up. So thank you very much, audience. You have been very interactive. You have been wonderful audience for us. Thank you very much.
Okay, Nandini, may I just give 2 minutes time for anyone to raise any questions specifically if they have based on today's session, just next to 2, 3 minutes. Let's
Mm,
take 3 or 4 questions if somebody has any specific questions on today's session. With
okay,
that,
sir.
we can close. Thank you.
Fine,
Any
sir. So
questions, please? You can read it out.
okay, as of now, there's no question, but rather there are a lot of comments, thanking comments, thanksgiving comments here for you. So yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm happy that all of you could spare some time and trying to uh, find some time to go through this particular session and then gather some information on your specific career planning needs. Thanks a lot, and hoping to see you all as very successful people in your career in the days to come. Uh, Please feel free to get back for any of your career planning and career development requirements. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So we wish to hear from you for future sessions as well. So thank you very much, sir, for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, over here, so we are continuing our next session. Since we have a little overshot this session, not a problem. Like you can just stay back here. So we will continue our social media marketing session now. And leaders, 3G leaders, you can also put a message in all your groups as a reminder to join for the social media marketing session. So yeah. So all of you can quickly, go and message your people, the volunteers, specifically the volunteers and the volunteer leaders. Quickly, you can go message your group and your group members, volunteers, participants, whomsoever it is, and we are going to get started with the social media marketing session. All right. So now I'm going to share today's session will be on influencer marketing. Okay. So how many of you would like to know about influencer marketing? So quickly, can I hear some comments on how or maybe what can be done in influencer marketing? So you can just explain what is influencer marketing as in the first place, or if you don't know about influencer marketing, then you can say I don't know. But in case you know, you can say how influencer marketing is going to make a product or a brand to go to the next level, and something that you know about it. Yes, I want some comments. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Okay, really interested. So Harini is really interested. She says, "All right, all right. Okay, good, good, good." So if you don't know, then this session will be making you aware of what it is actually. Okay. So in that case, like I want all of you to pay attention to the session. So I want the 3G leaders, volunteer leaders, to quickly go message in all your groups and quickly bring all your participants and volunteers here. Thank you. with that note, I'm going to share a few other stuffs for people who aren't aware about, the Tamil Nadu conference. As we all know, that we are heading to the Tamil Nadu conference, and so you can also see that 69% of the Indian jobs will be automated before 2030. So in that case, are we securing our job is the question, is the first and foremost question. And in that case, we might not know whether